Hi everyone, it's Library Linda, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of Did You Know? Did you know? On June 6th of 1844, the Young Men's Christian Organization was formed. The YMCA was formed in London by George Williams. George was appalled with the terrible living conditions for young working men in London, and he set it up as a place for them to escape the hazards of living on the street. The YMCA is the oldest and largest youth charity in the world. And in 1894, Queen Victoria knighted George Williams for his contribution to the charity. Did you know? On June 6th of 1933, the very first drive-in movie theater opened in Camden, New Jersey. Richard Hollingshead experimented with the idea in his driveway with placing a movie projector on the hood of his car and various other locations. Richard experimented with different ways on how to get sound to the cars. When he finally figured something out, he applied for a patent, and 1 month after receiving the patent, opened the first drive-in movie theater. The first movie shown at the Automobile Movie Theater was Wives Beware. Did you know? On June 7th of 1913, Hudson Stuck, an Alaskan missionary, led the first group of climbers to the summit of Denali. Hudson led the group of 4 to the highest point in North America and the United States at 20,320 feet. The mountain, originally known as Denali, or the High One, had a name change in 1889 to Denmore's Peak, and in 1896 was renamed again after the newly elected President William McKinley, and in 2015 the name reverted again back to Denali. Did you know? On June 7th of 1917, do you know Paul Crecchetti was born in Steubenville? Otherwise known as Dean Martin, his career was going nowhere until he met Jerry Lewis in 1946 and they formed the Unforgettable Comedy Act. Dean's career continued with his singing and acting and becoming a part of the Rat Pack that was composed of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. Did you know? On June 9th of 1973, Secretariat became the first horse to win the Triple Crown since 1948. The Triple Crown consists of the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes. Secretariat was born on March 30th of 1970, and the first race he was in was when he was 2 years old, and he placed 4th. That was the only time in his racing career that he didn't place. In May of 1973, Secretariat became the first horse to complete the 1.25 mile track in less than 2 minutes, and his record still stands at Churchill Downs at 1 minute and 59 seconds. ESPN has him ranked at 35 in the top 50 athletes of the 20th century. Did you know? On May 10th of 1854 was the first graduation of the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. Formed in 1845 by Secretary of the Navy George Bancroft, the Naval Academy is the second oldest military service academy after West Point. It was set up as a 7-year program, and the first class had 50 men join with 7 professors. The academy, that the midshipmen call the Yard, is used to educate Navy and Marine officers. Did you know? June 10th is National Iced Tea Day. Iced tea is one of the most popular summer drinks. Drink either sweetened or unsweetened, with lemon or without. 85% of the tea that is consumed in the United States is iced, and people like to add flavors to their iced tea, whether raspberry, strawberry, blackberry, peach, or other flavors. The first known consumption of iced tea was in 1860, but there was a popularity explosion when it was served at the 1904 World's Fair. Did you know? On June 11th of 1776, the Second Continental Congress created the Committee of 5 to write up the Declaration of Independence. These 5 were Thomas Jefferson from Virginia, Roger Sherman from Connecticut, Benjamin Franklin from Pennsylvania, Robert Livingston from New York, and John Adams from Massachusetts. They came back to the Continental Congress on July 2nd, and some wording was changed, and on July 4th, it was accepted and the Declaration of Independence was signed. Did you know? On June 12th of 1987, President Ronald Reagan gave the Berlin Wall speech, which became the most famous Cold War speech in front of the Brandenburg Gate in Germany. In this speech, he challenges Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev by saying, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." 2 years later, the wall that was built around Berlin in 1961 was torn down by both East and West Germans. I hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Did You Know? And I hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.